Tiny homes are the future. Today's video will be discussing on why I purchased a tiny home and why I strongly advise anyone from the age of 18 to 35 to purchase a tiny home, especially in today's time. So enjoy today's video. So once you're about 18, 25, you have the ability of, you know what, I want to go out of my way. I want to go buy a house. Now, most people, majority of people within society in this world, buy a house, they pay it off a month. It's called a mortgage. My parents have a mortgage. My brother and his wife have a mortgage. But I do not have a mortgage. Why is that? Probably because I live in a tiny home. Now you're probably wondering, why did you downsize from a 3-storage house to a singular story? Well, that is a very good question. I did it because I wanted my own place. I wanted sort of independency at a young age. I wanted a place that I can chill and relax at and call mine. And the biggest thing is peace and quiet. You see, at my parents' house, it doesn't exist. I can't record the amount of videos I record an average a day, and at my parents' house, it's not durable. I have to record everything at night time with a lot of background noise, and here it's relaxing. I live in a village basically. I live on a park 10 months a year, and the 2-3 months a year that I can't be here, sleep, I go to my parents. But next year I'm highly likely considering probably getting a place somewhere in the area. But we're gonna have to see if I'm actually gonna do that. But hey, besides that, obviously, right, tiny homes are fantastic. Now, before I even purchased a tiny home, I was like, who the frick would actually want to live in a goddamn tiny home? With all due respect, so small, nasty, right? And you would often assume and think the people living in tiny homes are poor people or people that don't fit in society. Well, you'd actually be quite surprised. At least on my park, the majority of people here are wealthy. The houses surrounding this area are multi-million-dollar mansions. The people got money here, and people on this park are wealthy as well. Now bear in mind, these are people from the old generation, so the years 50s and 60s, when black money was a big thing, big business, drugs was booming. Oh, what? Bet you ain't sure that some people in this park probably trapped in their life. Oh yeah. How do you think all people from the old generation sometimes had hundreds of thousands on their account or millions? You think that's all fair money? You'll be surprised. A lot of this shit is not fair money. It's hard work, but not all of it is fair money. I can assure you that right now. But besides that, they got money. They got really nice tiny homes. And I've got a tiny home. Now, I bought it because I wanted to downsize. See, I cannot afford a house. Nope, simply cannot. I'll be very honest. A lot of people think, oh, you know, you're a YouTuber, you're rich. I am not rich by any means. No, if it was up to me, I'd buy a $500,000 home. But I don't, and I can't. And second of all, I didn't want a mortgage. I didn't want to be like the majority of people. Yeah, I got a house, but I pay it off every month. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get it confused. I don't want a freaking mortgage. I don't want to pay off something every month. And let's say if I get fired, oh fuck, I can't seem to afford my mortgage. When you are fired from your job out of nowhere, and you can't pay your mortgage, you're screwed. You're screwed basically. Now there's a difference when you buy a house and pay it off in one go. Then regardless of whatever happens, it's yours. It cannot get taken away. It can never get taken away. The only thing you have to pay is electricity, water, and the basics. But the house is officially yours. I'm pretty sure my mom and dad, the house will probably be paid off in a couple of years. And then, you know, I'm pretty sure the mortgage is almost as done. But till this day, they're going to still have to work, pay for the mortgage. And I was like, look, with what I've earned, why would I throw all my money away, hard-working money, the hours I spend a day, every day, working on my channel, on my content? Why would I want to throw away $800, $1,000 a month and pay off a house? Or renting a place? I was like, fuck it. Isn't there something I can do in order to keep majority of my money, but also at the same time sort of invest my money in? And it was a tiny home. I had never heard of it before. I was like, what? No way, people live in these things? I was first like, this gotta be a joke. But you'd be surprised how fantastic a tiny home is. I've gotten very quickly used to the fact, living on my own, being independent. Now, purchasing one of these tiny homes, well, you get a basic second-hand tiny home at around beginning $8,000. Don't expect fucking anything. No furniture, no double glass, no nice entrances, pretty tight. I have an upgraded one. This one is custom made, built to what I wanted experience wise. I purchased more meter. I purchased a wider unit. It is 11 by 3 meters 75. So it is a wide unit. It's got an open kitchen. It's not in the middle. The kitchen is perfectly on the side. I'm looking at my TV right now. I have an L-shaped couch. I invested about, let's say, 45,000 in my tiny home. The unit itself in dollars converted back in time, a year and a half ago, was 42,000. Well, actually, no. It was only a year ago, my bad. 14 months ago. Was $42,000. Alright? With furniture, everything, I've probably... Well, that's the thing. The majority of what I have in here is what I got from my mom. She's gifted a lot of stuff to me. My grandmother have gifted. My brother has gifted stuff. But you can get a second-hand tiny home from around 8,000 till 20 grand. But there's nothing wrong with that. No, it's fantastic. If you're like, 40, 60 grand is a lot. It's a lot of fucking money. Some tiny homes in here I've seen 85 grand. I'm like, whew. But then again, you're not speaking about your average tiny home. Then you're looking at luxury outside, in exclusive LED lights on the top, gorgeous entrances, really freaking luxury inside as well. Really gorgeous. Is it worth it? I mean, if you want to pay for luxury, you got to pay for it. It's not cheap. Life in general isn't cheap. And that's why the best thing for you to do financially nowadays is buy a tiny home, buy a plot of land, or if you can rent a plot of land, that's perfect. Preferably buy, because at the end, it's cheaper than renting. I wish and I would have preferred that I was able to purchase this land. There's no way, I can try to negotiate. Simply the rules are in the park. They don't sell, they only rent, which makes a lot of sense, because renting makes more money than selling property. I think the plot of land that we're on right now would be probably worth $50 million where we're at right now. Maybe 60 million. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Yeah, I agree. But my initial goal is to buy an own plot of land. When? I don't know. But if I get a plot of land, this bad boy is coming with me. And if I got money left, I say fuck it, I'll make it bigger. I'll buy a second tiny home. Why not? This is perfect for nowadays problem with the housing market, because the house market is simply overpriced. Your average Dutch person living here cannot afford a house because of the house cost. You want a basic house, 2 stories, you're paying easily 300,000. And that's a basic house. Not a big garden, not a big house, and vast majority of the time, you often don't even have an own parking place. And I do. And I have a garden. Not too big, not too small. Perfect. For money wise, I don't have to spend insane amount on the garden. And speaking about my garden, I'm not even sure if I'm actually going to do my garden this year. Because what if I find a plot of land in the area that I'm like, hey, if I can negotiate this with the farmer, and I can purchase it for a certain amount of money, I will. But by purchasing a plot of land in the middle of nowhere, you have to also figure out that there could be something one day that the farmer says, hey, I'm selling my ground, houses can go here. Then you're stuck with a beautiful place that was once very peaceful and quiet, and you got people coming around. And I'm trying to avoid that. I chose a certain specific dead street so that no cars come in and out barely. The only time cars come here is when the people are here from their own places. And let's not forget, and let me be very honest, I was very fortunate to get this certain plot. Let me be very honest with you there. But tiny homes are the future in today's society. Even if you may not agree with it, you probably look like a lowlife. Dude, I don't give a fuck what people think of me. I really don't. I'm very glad that I have this. The only thing that I'm missing, and I would love to have, is an own official plot of land. Bought, not rented. Because you're limited to do certain things on rented property. And, well, the weird thing and the crazy and the scary thing is, I might leave anytime. Get forced to leave because the owner of the park might say, $50 million, I'm selling it to a project, to a house project developer. That's the biggest thing you have to think of. Some of these people have been here for 30 to 50 years, and I haven't even been here for 6 months. And I have to consider that if I invest / waste thousands of dollars on my garden, I might have to strip it all away. And then, well, shit, if that happens, then I have no home. Then I don't have anywhere to live. I can't put it in the back of my parents. That's also a big thing. Unless you are foster care, and you need to have approval that it can go into your garden, because, well, 11 meters, our garden isn't that wide. You know what I mean? Well, you could no, it isn't. No, you can't put it in the garden. So you gotta also think about that. But when you really want your money, you can rent these things as well. If you got an own plot of land, and you say, hey, 6 months in a year, I'm in Spain, or fuck it, I'm gone for a couple of months. You can rent these out for 500 a week, easy. You can ask 4 grand passive income a month. You just have to have people that want to, and trust me, when you have one that's incantation like I am, brand new, it's not even a year old. It's literally 8 months into production old. People would die for stuff like this. This one is the nicest one I personally thought on the model. A nice beige interior with an all black wall, different color white on the ceiling, and everything else. This isn't even a luxury one yet. The other one that I liked was 50 grand, but I was like, ooh, it's a bit heavy though. I mean, I could afford it, but I was like, I don't really like the thought of having a kitchen in the middle of my fucking living room. No offense, because here I can walk freely. I got the space. Now you've also got some options when you have a tiny home. You can have, you can have laundry. Pointless for me. And I will say laundry is pointless. You can just get a bucket with water and do it by hand. And when you downsize, and I wouldn't want to even necessarily say downgrade, because sometimes downsizing to a tiny home could even be more luxury than the home you already had. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be surprised how luxury a tiny home can be and is, depending on what price range, obviously. 10 grand, you don't fucking get nothing. You get your basic shit. I've seen it on the park. It's not bad. It's not my cup of tea, respectfully, but it's better than nothing. But these places are really nice, and you'd be surprised how luxury and how great double glass is. You could modify it on the price range if you wanna. I could have probably modified and said, hey, listen, I want this and this and that. I love the windows. I love the natural light that comes in. The entrance. I have 2 entrances. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 windows in my tiny home. 11 windows. And I love them, absolutely. And I would advise to anyone, if you've got money and you're like, what do I do with it? Buy a tiny home. Even if you buy a plot of land, rent it. It's passive income. You'll make your money back in no time. Trust me, get a $10,000-$12,000 unit, put like $3,000-$5,000 investment into it, and rent it for $1,000 a week, and bam, you have your money back in no time. If I had an own plot of land, I would rent this sucker out for, well, this respectfully is $1,500 a week, maybe even 2 grand. It's a new model. It's everything. It's got everything you desire and want. But I'm gonna have to end this video. Thank you so much for watching. My best advice is for the youngsters out there: invest in tiny homes, because it's worth it. Trust me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.